two, three. One, two, three. Let's go.
Very special edition of crypto. This is AZcrypto, MrFOMO. MrFOMO, we're going to talk about BTC in the market. We're going to talk about some coins that people should have their eye on. We're not doing the draft quite yet, but we have some coins that performed well. Obviously, we went below, unless you've been living under a cave, we went below 20K all the way down to the mid 17s over the weekend. We've recovered. We're in the mid 20s right now. We've made it all the way up to 21. Some coins have really done well on the rebound. And so it gives you an idea, if we do go down again, which is a distinct possibility, what coins you can get at a great discount. So MrFOMO, over the past week, we've had some good performers. Is there one that sticks out to you that you say, well, this is one we've talked about before, look how well it's doing. This just confirms my suspicion.
There's like four that we've talked about before, right? I mean, if you look down the list of top performers just with Voyager, you see eGold, Sushi, Ren. We've talked about Solana, Maker, Ape, Farm, Phantom, StormX. These are all 20% performers over the last week. And so it just goes to show you volatility can be a really bad word when everything's going down, but 20% on the upside, if you snag some tokens last week during that lull, then you made some money.
eGold at 35.
Volatility is sort of like a swing trader or a day trader's dream, right?
Yeah, I'm very high on eGold. The two coins I've been, ever since Luna destroyed my top spot, and just let's not even bring them up right now.
But I mean, that goes back to those lessons that we try to teach.
Yeah. But I just wanted to say, eGold and Avalanche are two of my favorites. eGold in the last week is up just a little under 35%. Sushi, we've talked about being a great value, is up at 31%. And I just want to say something about eGold here. The market cap is still 1.4. So if we get another downturn and eGold goes below 1 billion, I mean, great opportunity for me. Talk about a coin that's in the 50s that I feel like it easily gets to 1,000 next bull run. And that's not hyperbole if you looked at the way it performed last time. And Sushi Swap is very interesting. Its market cap is all the way down to 274, even at the spot. And I think it's going to be around, even though it's not the premier swap. So again, great value. One that we've never talked about before, and this is a dangerous one, and I would be very careful, but it is up almost 50% this week, is Wi-Fi, also known as DeFi money. Now, the market cap is $21.9 million. It got all the way down 1 point to 13 million. And here's the thing about these are, I would never say this is a long term. But again, let's say that you are going to DCA short term, but you have a little money that you just want to see if you can, maybe win a bet, kind of like throwing $30 on a baseball team or an NBA team on a night. Maybe you want to try to double your money. When it's this low of a cap, when it's going between 13 and 26 million, you have a chance of doing maybe not double, 2x. Very few things are doing 2x, but you can get a 40, 50%. You got to be careful because you can't assume 17,000 BTC is going to be the bottom. You could go a little bit lower than that. But if you want to get a little bit risky, some of those low cap gems, and I wouldn't put a lot in, not financial advice, but I would be very careful because you don't want to put a lot in and get stuck in this coin because we're still in the bear market. But, if you're looking for a way to make money in the short term and not just the long term, that would be one we haven't talked about before. I would kind of check mark and I would just watch. Because again, 22 million is a minuscule market cap.
Yeah, and for me, I've kind of just been scrolling up and down the list of the top performers, and I kind of went down to the ones that haven't really pushed in the last week. And just looking around, just kind of a superficial thing that I noticed is that a lot of the gaming and a lot of the metaverse tokens have not moved as much as some of those top performers we were
Oh
talking.
yeah, Engine. If you were going to bring that up, that has barely moved this week,
Right.
7.5%.
So you have like Mana, Engine, Sandbox. You've got all these that are down there, and maybe you could say, if we keep beating on the door of 21 and push up to 22, then those are ones that you could see maybe giving you some more returns. AVAX also hasn't moved that much in the last week. Algorand, same thing. Chainlink.
And some of them, because they were decimated so much, let's give them a little bit of credit. It would be hard. Like, for example, VeChain almost went below 2 cents. I mean, they took a heavy dive. And that's one we haven't talked about in a long time. And we're gonna have a bear market draft. I think we're gonna wait to see how the market plays out, but definitely sometime in the near future in the summer. That's one I've got my eye on because it's right now at 1.7 billion. And if that gets below a billion, that is a gigantic buy opportunity. And again, bear markets suck because it's very difficult to make money in the short term. But if you do have the keyword, which is patience, we're going to keep saying, I know we're like repeating ourselves, but I think it's important because there is so much negativity out there. There were people that were excited about crypto and all of a sudden are like, oh, I guess it's a scam now. Like you said, fair weather. So I think it's important for us to kind of repeat the word patience because that's what it's going to take, right?
And then, and also really do your research and go find good projects. I mean, just scrolling down the list again, one that I run into is Cardano. ADA hasn't moved that much in the last week as we've started to come back from that 17 lull. They're still at 48 cents. I mean, the joke in crypto, 6 months ago, is that it was a stable coin at $1. So if that was the joke and you could believe that it could at least get halfway back to there, you've got some money you could possibly make off of something like Cardano.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about something really important. And we talked about Celsius, but Celsius is in trouble. As of right now, if you were a customer, you can't withdraw your funds. It's interesting that Alameda, which is very heavy with FTX, one of the exchanges we don't talk a lot. Alameda made a huge deal with USDC, and I think the reason why that's important is I think USDC is here to stay. I think it's going to take over for Tether. I don't think Tether is going to disappear quite yet, but I think USDC is the way to go. So my point, just bringing it back to what we've talked about, if you were ever afraid to go into USDC on Voyager, knowing now how strong of a regulation that they put on themselves, they're introducing a European token the last day of June this year, the USDC version for Euro. I think USDC is here to stay. And I think that's one bright spot here and a lot of the damage that's been done. So if you were afraid to hold USDC before, I think it's becoming more and more clear it's the safe route to be. And again, you want to look at our codes on below. You deposit $100 into USDC if you're a new customer on Voyager, you get $50 free of Bitcoin. Not $50 when it's at 60,000, $50 when that's at 20,000. And I think if you haven't started crypto, that's the way to go. Get your $100, make your $9. Well, it wouldn't be 9 because it'd be the whole year. Whatever you put in, make your little interest and get $50 free. Basically, you're getting Bitcoin for free to start. And I don't think there's a better way to do it.
If you just put $100 in and you get your $50 back, and you just leave it in USDC and Bitcoin, you're going to end up getting like a 60% return at least on your initial.
Well, and guess what? If you decide to get out and come back later, you made $50.
Right.
I mean, they're not going to ask it. They're not going to ask to give you back. So,
and you can convert that as soon as you get it. As soon as if you don't like Bitcoin or you don't want to be in crypto, whatever, you don't believe in it, you can convert that to USDC right away, US dollars right away, whatever you want.
And I'm just throwing it out there because it's a safe way to dip your toe in. And I was having a conversation with someone else about this. You could pick 3 coins now and just put $10 in them and just watch them. Oh, it's gone down 30%. I'm going to put a little more in. I'm going to put $10 more. I mean, and you could do it that way. And within the next couple of years, you could have a decent sized bag just by putting in $10 here and there. Now you're not going to have $1 million bag, but you'll have, and this is an idea that I used once before is once you buy something, it's easier to follow because it appears on your ledger. And I mean, $10, let's be honest, that's gonna what? Not even buy you half a fast food meal for your family, not even close to half. So, I mean, that's a strategy I've used and I've seen a lot of other people use is let's dip our toe in. I'm gonna put $10 in AVAX right now. And if I see it's down 20%, I'm gonna put $10 more in. No one has to put in hundreds and thousands of dollars, especially in our current situation right now. And I think patience is the key. If you want to be more risk adverse and try to buy something like Wi-Fi money, which is an entirely small cap, or Eternity Chain, like you've mentioned before, you can try that. It could work, it could not. But if you just want to be safe, I think that's one of the misnomers about crypto is it's so dangerous. Right now, if you put a little bit in and you stick to some of the top 20, 40 projects, you're very likely going to be very safe. I don't think Cardano is going anywhere as much as I think they're overrated. I don't think Avalanche is going anywhere. I don't think Eagle is going anywhere. I don't, there are
a lot of
think
projects
Phantom is going anywhere. So,
and
it's not all doom and gloom, guys.
To that end, I think if you wanted to, if you don't want to pay that close attention to it, but you want to be a little bit more adventurous, you wanted to put a little bit more money in the market every once in a while, you can do one of the things that I do, and I have an automatic buy set up on Bitcoin every Sunday. And for me, that's just the day that I've observed where Bitcoin is usually, or on average, at its lowest in the days of the week. And so I have a small buy set up, and I actually caught it below, I think I caught it just below 18 on Sunday. So it was actually quite a good buy. But if you don't want to be, involved in the charts, you don't want to have to stay up till 4 a.m.
Or be in the Twitter spaces.
Right. And so if you don't want to do that, you can actually set up automatic buys. And we're going to do some shows, I think, later where we kind of dive into the numbers and look at what's the lowest day of the week for some of these tokens and, what would be the best time to set up your auto buy.
Yeah. So again, I think what we're saying is don't get too excited about this little pump because it doesn't mean we're going straight back up to 60. In fact, I can almost guarantee you, sadly, that's not going to happen. But don't be someone that's a doomsdayer. There was a lot of doom and gloom when we got to 17, and I kind of understand it. But also, it's like if you were optimistic still at 20, going down to 17 shouldn't have shaken you that much. I think sometimes we get very emotional in the moment. It's like if you're a sports fan and your team gets blown out, your team's never going to win again. All the players suck, and it's just that's not how it goes. And that's the reality of crypto. You can't celebrate when you get a 3x and then also be shocked when all those gains disappear. That's just, even in stocks, people take profits. And
right.
That's, I think we're going to, like you've talked about taking profits. I think if you do buy something and it goes up 40, 50% in the bear, I'm talking about buying something fresh we're not down on, you really owe it to yourself to consider taking profits because those profits are not likely going to stay. I mean, eventually, yes, you'll make more, I think, in 2 years once the market recovers. But if you want to use those profits, you're probably going to have to sell the day of. You can't say, oh, I'll wait till next Tuesday or next Wednesday. If something's up 40, 50%, the likely it's going to stay there is not high. And again, we're being honest. It's up to you. We're not financial advisors, but if you do land on something, let's say you buy Cardano today, we get a pump up to 25 and Cardano goes up 25%. You want those profits, you're going to have to take them. That's what I'm going to leave you guys with today.
And for me, you can also use these times, to be observational, to look at the charts, see where, just looking at Bitcoin's chart today, you can see it got rejected at almost 21.7. We're in a descending pattern right now. you may be able to follow this descending pattern down to some lows that match some lows that in the previous week or the previous couple of weeks. So this is a good time to pay attention to these levels of support and resistance. And if we get back down to 17 again, maybe you have an opportunity to snap something up real quick, earn a quick 20%, and turn a tidy profit.
Yeah. So great news is we got a VLP Voyager show coming up. That's going to show you how you can make immense money if you are interested, if you are open to trying that, if you're not a VLP member. We also are going to have a big draft coming up, a bear market draft coming up sometime probably either late June or early July. So stay tuned for that. For AZcrypto, this is Mr. FOMO. Have a great day, everybody.
See ya.